This is Todd with Inner West Distribution. So we've talked about compression marks so far, silvering, and stretch marks. The last thing I kind of wanted to touch on for this kind of series of, the 4 most common installation flaws is lift lines. Okay, and lift lines, it's essentially a stretch mark, one and the same, in reverse order. And with lift lines, and knowing just installing film, it's a tension game. Okay, so if we were to do a hood or a bumper and say we were going to do this hood where we're doing coast to coast and stretching it, anchoring it and tacking it one area to the other, understanding that you have all of that tension going evenly through the film and how to go after something if you have a piece of contamination or if you have some silvering, it's really going 90 degrees from your tension points. Okay, so if I had this side to side, coast to coast, all my tension is going across the hood. If I need to come back underneath the film and say pick out a piece of debris, I want to come either from the top or the bottom 90 degrees from my side to side tension. Same way if I had my film going vertical, I want to try to keep those anchor points and come in 90 degrees or side to side. If I don't, what happens is when I basically bring this piece of film back to say this area and then go ahead try to lay it down, it's almost impossible or very difficult to try to get that same amount of tension on the film so you don't see that line in the area where you have a lot of stress over here and possibly film that is more neutral over here. And that is and they look about the same as far as the stretch line and a lift line. So I'm going to just kind of go through and demonstrate quickly what I'm talking about with the actual piece of film. I'm going to start with my slip solution. And again, if I had some film down and if I was installing a kit or a bulk and if I had tension, we'll just start by locking one edge in. Okay, and if I was making my stretch over to the other side, again, I would get some alcohol and if anything, give myself that new kind of tack line, just feathering into that soap, buying myself some time, and coming over, stretching, locking down my other point, and then I can go ahead and squeegee the rest of that area. Okay, so let's focus now in area like here. If I wanted to come back and if I had a piece of debris in this area, the best thing that I can do is actually come in from it from top and bottom because I don't want to, if at all possible, disturb that tension side to side. So coming in, use my soap and water, and if I can just get that edge kind of lifted, okay, fish out whatever may be there. And you can see now, because of the tension on the film, if I let that go, it's basically relaxing into its original state of that first initial pull. Okay, going at it that way buys you that time. So after I squeegee that area, if you look, there's no actual lift line. Now, if I were to come at it differently and break that tension and come at it releasing this, bringing it back to here, and I'm just going to show you guys if I don't get that even tension back when I squeegee in that area, okay, that's where you start to get slight distortion in there. And the reason for that distortion, and it may be hard to see on camera, and I'll pull it up here in a second, the reason for that distortion is this side of the film is under a different stress and tension than this side. Because I broke that initial stretch, this side is more relaxed, and what you end up seeing is more actual distortion in the adhesive. And that is a lift line. So unlike a stretch mark, pulling from a dead stop, you're creating a lift line by bringing something back and having 2 different tensions in the film in a specific area that is causing the distortion in the adhesive. Hope that helps.